Welcome everyone to Missoula, Montana, and the next chapter is now. Montana takes on Stephen F. Austin, the Grizz against the Lumberjacks, in what we expect to be a very high-scoring game. Here's the brackets. The winner of today's game will meet the winner of Richmond and Appalachian State. And look at all those teams. Southern Illinois, Villanova, all highly ranked, highly competitive in what should be a fabulous playoff. Hi, everybody. Doug Bell alongside John Ritchie, the old fullback of Oakland Raiders fame. And, John, I know you love these elements and the challenge that it presents. It's cold out here.
It is biting, bitter cold. Playing football on a day like today tests your manhood, absolutely.
And Stephen F. Austin, they're checking out the gloves, the hand warmers, the whole bit. They're not used to this sort of thing.
No, East Texas team, this is an inhospitable environment for them. It's very loud in this stadium. Montana always packs the stands. It's cold and loud. That makes it tough for a team that runs a no-huddle offense all game.
Should see a lot of points. Some talented quarterbacks and wide receivers in today's game.
Absolutely. Montana, they've got Mark Mariani. This guy is just a weapon, a complete weapon. Receiving, he's got 1,151 yards, 11 touchdowns this year, but he has a punt return touchdown to his credit. And last week, his 98-yard kickoff return sparked a 40-point come-from-behind win. Unanswered points they racked up on Eastern Washington. That landed them in this game today. And then Dwayne Brooks for Stephen F. Austin. The guy is an open field nightmare. They love to hit him on underneath routes, quick hitches, that sort of thing. He leads a pack of hungry wideouts, 7 or 8 of them, that make life easy for Jeremy Moses, the prolific quarterback there.
It's 22 degrees right now. They're expecting snow. We're going to go inside the booth. Kickoff is next from Missoula. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Missoula, Montana, Washington Grizzly Stadium. Once again, a packed house, 24,000 plus. And I guess, John Ritchie, this is nice weather for these folks around here. J.C. Harper not necessarily used to it.
No, J.C. Harper said, hey, I hope it's going to snow because our kids don't get a chance to see much of that. I don't know how much those kids are enjoying this so far, trying to stay warm. You see the Montanans shirtless, hanging out in the cold. No issues at all, but being from East Texas, you know, this takes some adjustment.
JC has done a wonderful job in resurrecting this program of Stephen F. Austin. Here come the Grizz. You know, they practice all week without any heaters, without jackets. Bobby Houck will not allow it. Today they will have a few on the sidelines, but he said he makes them feel special on game day.
Yeah, spoil them on game day. You know, people do not realize how much more it hurts to play football when it's this cold. You get stingy. You know how your nose, the tip of your nose and your ears and your fingertips get stingy when you're out in the cold? Well, that makes them hurt more when there's contact applied to those body parts.
Sounds like you enjoy that, huh?
I do. It's, yes, a little sadistic, but I do enjoy it. And I think this Montana team, these guys pride themselves on being tough guys as a group. And there you see Bobby Houck. He's a big reason why 7th season here. What a change he has brought to this program. They were always good, but now they are consistently incredible. They've won a share of the Big Sky title every year he's been a head coach here. Impressive, impressive man.
You see most of the Montana kids without the sleeves of any kind.
That's big.
Yep.
You got to pay attention to that. If you're a player, you do not want people to know that you feel cold. You might feel cold. Everyone does feel cold, but it's a mental thing. You don't want opponents to see you wearing sleeves, see you shivering, feeling cold.
Well, last week was a comeback of major proportions. In fact, they're saying it was the greatest comeback in Montana football history, which is saying a lot, John. You worry about a letdown for these Montana Grizzlies after what was an incredible comeback, down 41-14 at one point.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily worry about a letdown. They had a letdown in the first half of that game, turning the ball over the way that they did. They were able to rally. This Montana team has come from behind in 10 of their 12 wins so far this year. So they've dealt with adversity very well.
Stephen F. Austin won the coin flip, and they want the football. They're the #1 offense in the country, so they want to show it off right off the bat. And so Brody McKnight will kick off for the Grizz. Vincent Purvis is deep for the Lumberjacks. And Purvis will field a short kick at the 6-yard line. Has some space, dodges one bullet, and works his way out to the 23-yard line. It'll be a nice start now. Nice field position for the Lumberjacks of Stephen F. Austin, led by Jeremy Moses, the record-setting quarterback.
Yeah, Moses is just an outstanding decision maker. He's got 40 touchdowns this year already. The guy puts it up almost every play, and as soon as that ball is spotted, Stephen F. Austin is going to snap that thing.
Moses all by himself in the backfield. We'll see that quite a bit today. Quickly to the outside, Dwayne Brooks, who John spoke of off the top, makes his 111th grab of the season.
Yeah, that's incredible. And that's what they like to do. They like to sling it out to him, get it to him quickly. Those little hitch or stork routes, whatever you like to call them. Let him do something special in the open field.
Maybe a half-yard gain. Vincent Purvis now lines up to the left of Moses. Purvis, the all-purpose guy, takes the pitch on the short side. Finds some room. Picks up 7 yards.
Vincent Purvis, he's got 872 yards coming into this game because this is what they do. They spread the field with those 4 wideouts and then flip him the ball on those quick flips or give it to him on the inside zone. And he is a slasher.
Quickly to the outside now. Aaron Ray, who's back in the lineup after missing the last 2 games, scampers down the sidelines, breaks a number of tackles, and finally he's knocked out around the 32-yard line. Aaron Ray, who's been out the last 2 games, he's had a blood clot issue, kind of a weird medical situation, but boy, he looks good there, John.
He's happy to be back. Once again, they flip the ball to a receiver in space. He makes guys miss. Stephen F. Austin has the speed advantage both on offense and defense today.
Boy, the chain gang is moving today. They've never operated with an offense like Stephen F. Austin. This is fast-paced. Oh, that's a dangerous pass that's picked off. That's a big turnover. Eric Stoll picks it off for the Grizzlies, his 2nd interception. Dangerous pass.
Well, right after I got done saying Jeremy Moses is an outstanding decision maker, he puts this thing up. Eric Stoll was just sitting back in that zone, makes a nice break on the ball like he was expecting it. Takes it back. You know, that is just a poor decision from a quarterback. Stoll sitting there waiting like he knew it was coming.
Well, the crowd doesn't need much to get revved up here at Grizzly Stadium, but that got them on their feet. Quickly to the ground game now. That's Reynolds scampering forward. Chase Reynolds picks up 4 yards. Andrew Sell will alternate with Justin Roper. They like Andrew Sell.
They like him because he is efficient. He led the Big Sky Conference in passing efficiency this year. Very, very smart player.
2nd down and 6. And back to the ground game, and Reynolds. The ball breaks free, and of course the crowd reacts, but Reynolds keeps it. And again, I think that's the strategy, John. You keep the ball out of the hands of the offense of Stephen F. Austin.
Well, they're going to have to move the chains today, keep the ball in their possession.
Face back. Defense, 15-yard penalty. First down.
And that's what Bobby Houck told us earlier this week. He said stopping their offense depends on us being able to move the chains to keep them off the field. So look for them to run the ball, pound it, but still try to have balance, which is so important anytime you're playing offense. There you see J.C. Harper. Montana, they do have that balance, and Chase Reynolds, who we've seen carry the ball a couple times here, has been their dependable workhorse back. Expect for him to see a big share of the load today.
Again, Reynolds lines up behind Andrew Sell. 1st and 10 after that 15-yard personal foul penalty. First flag of the game. Reynolds gets wrapped up by big Sean Warren, who's also back this week. Missed last week with a sprained knee. Defensive front for Stephen F. Austin, very talented.
Oh, absolutely. I think the D-line is a strength the strength of their defense because they are so talented. They're explosive, they're fast. This is a group who stops the run, but they also get after a quarterback without having to bring blitzes. Just the front four get the job done.
So 2nd and 11. Sale's first pass. That goes incomplete, looking for Tyler Palmer. He's their big receiver, and he was there, just didn't hang on.
Yeah, and that's a drop, pure and simple. I can't even make anything good out of that. That's should have been caught. Tyler Palmer is a good blocker, a hard worker, but needs to make that crucial catch. Now they put him in a 3rd and long situation.
3rd and 11. Martin Mariani has yet to touch the football yet. The superstar from last week over the middle. Looking for Sam Gratton, and again, Gratton was there, could have caught it, but it goes incomplete.
That almost looked like Gratton batted that thing down. You know, kind of got caught between catching it with his pinkies together and with his thumbs and forefingers together. There you see the pressure on Andrew Sell. Got that ball in a very catchable spot. 2 drops led to this punt for Montana.
Sean Wren will punt it away for the Grizzlies. Wayne Brooks back around the 17-yard line for the Lumberjacks. Nice punt.
Beauty.
Makes a beautiful bounce for Montana out at the 6-yard line. So the Lumberjacks will be deep in their own territory, their 2nd drive, when we come back. Monty, the Grizzlies mascot, getting everybody revved up. This is one of the best atmospheres in all of college football. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And the 2 offenses, 1 and 2 in the land. Here's a completion over the middle. Aaron Ray, his 2nd grab of the afternoon. And again, the young man has missed the last 2 weeks. Looks pretty good. John, really no worse for wear.
Yeah, they're so happy to have him back. He's 11 touchdowns. That's the most by any receiver for Stephen F. Austin this year. Very productive guy.
Again, this drive started at the 6-yard line after that fabulous punt. The crowd really making noise in this end zone. Quickly to the outside, Dwayne Brooks. And he does get the 1st down. And again, the chain gang, I don't know how long they've been doing it, but they gotta be on their P's and Q's. They gotta move. This is high octane, the NASCAR offense for the Lumberjacks. All passes so far, and that goes incomplete. Raylan Crawford, again, couldn't hang on.
Montana's trying to give Stephen F. Austin some interesting looks, making it look like they're going to dog the backer or bring a safety off the edge, and then they're backing off, and they're playing very soft in that zone. Stephen F. Austin, Jeremy Moses taking advantage of it, just flicking it out there to those receivers right from the snap.
2nd and 10. Again, the sound just bounces throughout this stadium. It is very loud. Dwayne Brooks, very busy. See that play quite often as you watch, break down the tape of the Lumberjacks, that underneath route.
Yeah, that's incredible. The prolific nature of this offense really revolves around that guy when you look at the numbers.
And the first running play goes for a 1st down, Vincent Purvis. And another 1st down.
Purvis, yeah, Purvis is a guy, he's 182 pounds, not the biggest back in the world, kind of a shifty slasher, but watching him bounce off tackles is incredible. The guy's got balance.
Again, quick snaps from Max Holmes, who's an outstanding center. They go with hand signals. Oh, there's the pick. Austin Mullins down to the 20-yard line. 2 straight picks for the Grizzlies.
Unbelievable. Jeremy Moses making two really poor decisions early on in the passing game. Austin Mullins, a defensive tackle. You'll see him, number 54, gets held up in the blocking scheme, then drops off. They were trying to hit that underneath route. He was right in the lane. Moses never saw him. Wow, Austin Mullins, good inside D tackle, big and athletic, but you don't see many of those coming your way when you're a 3 technique.
So 1st and 10, Grizz in business again. Sticking it. Chase Reynolds on the ground. Goes over the left side. Levi Horn is the big left tackle, the All-American. 6'7", 315 pounds.
Yeah, you look at this offensive line for Montana, and they are giants. 6'7", 6'8", 6'7", 6'8", across the board. It's incredible. These guys just mash people up front.
And you just saw by that graphic, they do very well inside the red zone. Very efficient. Reynolds put his head down behind the left side of that line. Aberud and Horn.
Yeah, no one blocked the strong safety, Corey Barlow. No one blocked Jabaro Williams. Those guys are very productive. Jabaro Williams, the Mike linebacker, is all everything for 4 preseason All-American teams. You got to get him blocked. Come off on that second level. He makes it tough, though, with the quickness he's got.
So it's 3rd and 5. Selwood time steps up into the end zone. In and out of the hands of Mariani. He was there.
He was there. He was open. The ball hung up in the air a little bit. Josh Aubrey, the cornerback, made a nice play on the ball at the end. Little double move. Fake the slant, go to the corner. Nice play by Aubrey. But the ball could have been thrown earlier. It could have been thrown closer to the corner, closer to that pylon. Would have been a touchdown.
34-yard field goal attempt for Brody McKnight. 11 of 20 so far this season. And that's good. So the Grizzlies turn their second interception into 3 points. And with that, Montana takes a 3-0 lead. You're watching the NCAA Division I Football Championships from Missoula. So the Grizzlies take advantage of that second interception, but I think, John, if you're Stephen F. Austin, you have to take a deep sigh of relief going, it could be a lot worse.
Well, their defense has done a great job of stopping this Montana offense early on.
And Vincent Purvis, short kick, brings it out beyond the 30-yard line. Turnovers has been the story.
Yeah, the 2 bad decisions by Jeremy Moses. Ends up throwing it to Austin Mullins, who was dropping off from his D-tackle spot. The first time he ended up throwing it right into the teeth of a zone where Stoll was waiting on it.
They've moved it, John, but the interceptions have been poor decisions by Jeremy Moses. First time we've seen the 2-back formation look. They changed that formation numerous times throughout the game.
Yeah, they like to stay with their 4 wides, but maybe 20% of the time they'll throw some other looks out there. 2 tight ends, a couple backs. But they usually try to do the same stuff. You know, inside zone, draw, quick pitch, or just looking for these little quick routes.
2nd and 8. Moses with all day. Will run the football. Flag down in the play. He gets run out of bounds. The sidelines, the wall of the sidelines, very close. There's not a lot of space, but we'll check the flag. It's holding against the Lumberjacks. Again, our officiating crew from the Ohio Valley Conference. That's Butch Stovall, our referee. J.C. Harper, a laid-back head coach, to say the least, has had a lot of success now in his 3rd year as head coach for the Lumberjacks.
Holding offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 2nd down.
George Bias. There you see J.C. Harper as the turnaround has ensued over the last 3 years. Here's a guy who played at Clemson, was a grad assistant for Mack Brown in North Carolina, and then a grad assistant for Lou Holtz at Notre Dame.
He's a defensive-minded guy. He was the defensive coordinator there, and then he brought in Shannon Dawson to be the offensive coordinator. That's when things really turned around.
2nd and 18. Again, you see these quick throws. Zach Fancher, his first catch of the day. Brought down by Severin Campbell. Boy, Campbell, as we broke down tape, John, I know you love number 47.
Yeah, big play last week. He had deflection, return for a touchdown. The guy is fast. He's a defensive end, but he's only 210 pounds. Makes up for what he lacks inside with incredible speed.
Very quick off the corner. And here comes a flag.
Another penalty on George Bias. The noise becomes a factor for the first time today.
False start. Number 75 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
I'll tell you what, wearing a helmet is not all it's cracked up to be when you got the volume and the reverberations off the sides of the mountains here, off the steel and concrete in the stadium. It is loud. And then you try to put a helmet on top that's just got 2 little ear holes in the side to hear through. There is no way this offensive line is hearing the snap count.
Danger zone now for the Lumberjacks.
And that time there was pressure on Moses because once again, George Bias not on time, did not get off on the snap count. He's trying to look inside to see when the guard moves, to see when the ball is snapped. That gives the defense a huge advantage for Montana.
Drew Nelson will punt away, and look at these hardy souls. No shirt.
I wonder if that paint is a little insulating.
It is awfully chilly to be wearing no shirt.
Let's check them out in the 3rd quarter, see if they've still got that look.
Hardy souls came in early, and they've been in those seats for at least an hour before the game. That's a shank off the side of the foot. Actually takes a nice bounce for the Lumberjacks. They had some funny spin that goes out of bounds around the 32. So very fortunate, Drew Nelson. Not a good kick at all, but he survives. Packed house in Missoula. Montana leads 3-0. There's Mount Sentinel, which stands at least from our vantage point to the right, and then you have Jumbo Mountain on the other side as you look at the coach, Bobby Houck, who has climbed that mountain many times. You saw the offense struggles last week against South Dakota State, almost inexplicable. He couldn't explain it. They did turn it around later, hoping for a faster start today, John.
And they're not getting it thus far.
And Andrew Sell at quarterback. You know, Claybo in there at the up back along with Reynolds. The ball's batted down by Tim Nicky. Nicky, a very active defensive end.
Yeah, Tim Nicky is just a modern day success story as far as walk-ons go. This guy made 3 preseason All-American teams. He leads the country in sacks, 12.5 sacks. That leads the FCS. 13.5 is the conference record for the Southern Conference. He could get that today.
And back to the ground game, Chase Reynolds. Picks up 3. See Kenneth Charles right there. Of course, they have a rotation of about 10 defensive linemen. Right. Charles, one of the outstanding defensive tackles.
Yeah, Kenneth Charles, he plays that 3 technique, but he is exciting. He can stuff the run and gets pressure on quarterbacks as well. Very, very athletic. They'll even line him up out at defensive end sometimes.
Grizzlies 0 for 2 so far. 3rd down conversions. That ball's batted down and nearly into the air to Kenneth Charles.
And Charles again. They had him on a little stunt. He was twisting around the edge. Got those big mitts in the air. Watch Charles. They end up doing a little twist. He's coming around the outside. And, his athleticism is a big deal. This offensive line for Montana right now is struggling to get movement in the run game, and they're not picking up the games on that defensive line of Stephen F. Austin.
Low line drive punt. That's the foot of the return man. It looks like the Grizzlies jump on it. Dwayne Brooks let it bounce, and it bounced off his ankle. And it is Montana football. Huge mistake for the Lumberjacks.
There's some serious confusion back here in the fielding aspect of this punt. Miscommunications. When the ball hits the ground, you have to get away from it when you're returning a punt. You cannot let that ball hit you. That's why they make a poison or a Peter call. It's the running vernacular in football. Get away from that thing once it hits the ground. Poor decisions returning that thing. Wayne Brooks and Aaron Ray back there, two big playmakers, not able to figure out who's going to take that thing, and boom, hits the ground. Huge turnover.
So the fumbled punt, the muff punt, 2 interceptions. Let's see if the Grizzlies can turn this into big points. They've been given a lot of opportunities. A timeout now. Stephen F. Austin. J.C. Harper says, hey, I didn't call timeout. The NCAA Division I Football Championship continues on Friday, December 11th, as ESPN2 brings you the first semifinal live at 8 Eastern. And for more information on the D1 Football Championship, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. Again, J.C. Harper trying to get clarification.
And he's laughing now. He's a neat guy to talk to. You know, very forthright. Gave us a lot of good stuff on his team, and just an easygoing guy, very, very laid back. Even in the midst of plentiful turnovers by his team early on.
It has been a rough start. Sell now with a fake, keeps it himself, takes a pretty good shot, loses his helmet along the way. We're seeing more and more helmets pop off players these days, the way they're designed, you know, for concussions and that sort of thing. It's almost an epidemic in college football.
This is a little option, a belly read option. Fakes the handoff, takes it himself. And that is a strike right there.
Snaps the helmet back on. It's second down. Second down and 4. Again in the red zone. Grizz set up that screen pass to Reynolds. He's brought down around the 3-yard line.
They're going to tack on 1.5 yards, I think. Maybe not. Looked like a face mask. That nice setup on that screen play with all the pressure that Stephen F. Austin has been getting. That screen worked to perfection to Chase Reynolds.
That's the first pass completion for Andrew Sell on this chilly Saturday afternoon. Here's the red zone numbers. Again, Reynolds right up the middle behind that strong offensive line, and it's a touchdown, Grizzlies.
That is a downhill run by number 34, Chase Reynolds. 195 pounds, but fearless. Ducked his helmet and made some blocks for himself. You watch Chase Reynolds. He puts his helmet down. He gets that last 4 yards, and then the reach. Yeah, that would be reviewed in the FBS, absolutely.
Extra point by Brody McKnight is good. Reynolds getting everybody fired up. 21 touchdowns on the season, and of course the cannon goes off. Look how close he came, John.
Yeah, they bring the H-back across and block with Dan Bowden, and then Reynolds ended up stretching out at the end of that thing. I think the ball was out of his grasp before he crossed the goal line with it. Great forward lean, great pad level though. Outstanding effort at the end. The refs were impressed with the effort as well. I'm not sure that was a touchdown, but doesn't matter.
It's 10-0.
Yeah.
That's all that counts. I like Reynolds over talking to his offensive lineman. You go right to the big guys. Tell them what a good job they're doing. And they did do a nice job.
Well, that was the first drive. Of course, it was a short one that they had much success with. I think the screen kind of set Stephen F. Austin on their heels a little bit, and then down in the short yardage situation, the offensive line got just enough push on that defensive line to make some movement and allow Chase Reynolds into the end zone. But I'm really impressed with this Stephen F. Austin defensive line performance thus far today. They're keeping them in this game. Could be a lot more than 10-0 right now with the turnovers they're giving up.
There the guys again, still going strong.
Yeah.
Now the guy with the eye looks a little chilly.
He's not convinced.
I'm not sure he's going to last all 4 quarters. Vincent Purvis has been busy. Has some room. Out of bounds at the 34-yard line. A nice return.
Yeah, that was a nice return. He abandoned the blocking scheme, though, when he saw that there was only one guy on contain over here on the right side.
So Jeremy Moses again with impressive numbers, 6 of 10, but those 2 picks.
Yeah, 2 very bad decisions, uncharacteristic for this guy.
The crowd revving up the volume here. Grizzly Stadium.
And they're trying to audible. They're changing the play. Let's see if all 11 guys get the play.
To the ground. Lamonte Hampton runs right into the arms of Caleb McSurdy.
Yeah, McSurdy is just a power linebacker. He's their biggest linebacker in there, 6'2", 245 pounds. The guy will stuff you in the run game.
Look at Jeremy Moses from Baytown, Texas. Thrown for over 9,000 yards in his career. And again, Lamonte Hampton gets tripped up for a short gain. And again, it's McSurdy in the middle. As you look at the defensive numbers, that's been a staple of this Grizzlies defense for years and years.
Tough bunch of guys.
Third and 9.
Trying to change the play again. This is a huge challenge for Stephen F. Austin. The noise level is incredible.
Over the middle, has his man, and this could go. Brought down is Graylin Crawford, and that quiets the crowd. Wow, what a play.
Graylin Crawford took it right up the seam. A really nice route. Watch Crawford. He makes a slight little move up the field, and then breaks straight up the seam. That'll break your two deep coverage down in a second. That's where 2 deep is very vulnerable. Stephen F. Austin knows it. They take full advantage with Graylin Crawford, who has really stepped up.
That went for 55 yards. Moses now in and out of the hands of Dwayne Brooks. Brooks has had the bobbles here early on.
Yeah, and you know, I think some of that stuff, as you look at the total yards, last 2 plays, 55, big chunks there, but I don't want to chalk everything up to weather here today, but these guys, they're from East Texas, they're wearing gloves. Under normal circumstances, when it's hot out, now they really need the gloves. Your fingertips are stingy. You can't feel your hands some of the time.
Moses with time. And again, off the fingertips. Zach Fancher stretched out but couldn't come up with it, wearing the gloves on this chilly Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I think that was a really good throw. Jeremy Moses really got that thing off right on time. It was accurate. Zach Fancher just couldn't make the stretch. As the crowd begins to absolutely roar. Big 3rd down play.
Moses with a pump fake over the middle. Lost football. Fumble. Waiting for the signal. Grizzlies football.
Oh, my.
The 4th turnover of the day.
That is a defense responding right there. Romonte Hampton took this little check down right over the middle, and that is a strike. Alex Shaw came in, dislodged the ball. He had a host of defenders there with him. Look at Romonte Hampton, just a little check through pass, looked like he was in, and then the convergence, the swarming defense makes the big hit. And that's Brandon Fisher on the ground. Their Sam linebacker. He's a guy who is in the proper position on every play. Very smart player. Coach's kid. They really need him.
Let's watch the play one more time. Here comes Fisher. At the bottom, delivered that blow.
And you saw him duck his head and get hit, you know, from the side and back. Took a knee. And that's one of those plays where you get your bell rung, but you also probably have some nerve issues, you know, in the neck.
Fifth takeaway this season. It has been a nightmarish first quarter for the Lumberjacks. They've moved the football.
Yeah.
But they're coughing it up. For the Grizz now, deep in their own territory. Andrew Sells still at quarterback. High formation look. That's Brooks Fletcher with his first carry.
Yeah, Brooks Fletcher is the tough all-purpose back for Montana. Very consistent, and they're in their coming out mode right now. When you're coming out from your own end zone, you got 4 plays to get that first 10 yards. They're crucial. It's just like short yardage and goal line. You have a special part of your playbook that has about 15 plays for this situation.
Back to Brooks Fletcher. And again, the Lumberjacks know with a quick stop here, they're going to get the ball right back. And despite all the turnovers, they're hanging around as you look at the numbers now of Thomas Brooks Fletcher.
Pretty good year. And now Brooks Fletcher, having run it twice in a row, they have enough room to drop back and maybe not risk that safety when you're right on the goal line.
Mark Mariani has not caught a pass so far today. And the dump off and a first down. Brooks Fletcher has been the go-to guy here deep in Grizz territory.
I like that play. I like that play. You're in split backs. You got a fullback, tailback. They end up crossing. This is called like a bingo cross route. It really wreaks havoc on either man or zone, because that time it's zone. They ended up hitting Brooks Fletcher, but you had your fullback Kevin Claybo also open. As Stephen F. Austin dropped, you got 2 backs coming across, crossing. You can sit it down and catch it and defeat that zone.
And you set it down for the Grizz, up 10-0 already. And once again, it's Brooks Fletcher. It's been a big drive for number 24.
He's been, yeah, he's been everything this drive. That run there was a little cautious. He was looking to turn it up, kind of tiptoeing, didn't see anything, and ended up gaining a couple yards.
Maybe a little winded. 4 straight plays to number 24, who lines up to the left of Andrew Sell. Over the middle. And the first catch of the day from Mr. Mariani.
Mark Mariani on the crossing route. You got the free safety Chad Haynes trying to take the inside away. Mariani with a nice route, breaking quickly. And that's one thing you can say about this guy. He's got the speed, but the routes are always very precise, and that's why he's open so much.
Former walk-on, an outstanding route runner. As you break down tape, boy, he is very precise on those cuts. First and 10. And there he is again on the outside, giving him a lot of cushion. Josh Aubrey finally wrestled him to the turf.
Andrew Sell loves throwing to that guy. Look at the cushion he's getting right there in this zone. Montana will take this all day. He'll just sit it down, catch it. I would have liked to have seen him get upfield a little more quickly. But that's 6 yards on first down. That's a gimme when you're playing off 10 yards.
That sets you up for a lot of possibilities. Yeah,
they're playing off that far again.
Putting his head down, Brooks Fletcher, as time winds down now in the first quarter. It has been an adventurous first quarter, especially for the Lumberjacks, with 4 turnovers. It's led to only 10 points. It could be worse if you're rooting for Stephen F. Austin. And that's the end of the first quarter. So a packed house again, a sellout crowd, enjoying every second of it. Here come the Lumberjacks. Uh-oh, that's been the story of the first quarter. Turnovers leading to a touchdown. Live from Missoula, Montana, it's Stephen F. Austin against the Grizz. Doug Bell alongside John Ritchie. John of Stanford Cardinal fame, Oakland Raider fame. In fact, at the hotel today, our waiter couldn't believe that he was serving John Ritchie. Wow.
Yeah.
That was good stuff.
He was a very kind waiter to say those nice things.
Big Raiders fan as we start the second quarter now. And once again, it's Brooks Fletcher busting a tackle and busting it down the sidelines for a big game for the Grizz.
Brooks Fletcher having a big burst this drive. He's been a big reason, almost the only reason why they're moving the ball so well. Beautiful cutback and then bouncing off people, finding the open field. Nice run. I like the cutback from the get-go. He set up his blocks and then stuck his foot in the ground, got north and south, and then bounced it outside.
Andrew Sell, described by his head coach, a very intelligent quarterback. You know, he doesn't stand out when you watch film with a strong arm or quick feet, but boy, he gets the job done. Wide open again on the outside. Mariani's just always open. Of course, they're giving him a lot of cushion, John.
They are giving him that cushion, and that time he just ran an out route, the play action, held the linebackers, and just not able to come up. The cornerback, Josh Aubrey, had dropped to where he couldn't come and close on that play. Nice throw, though.
That's what he did last week. 389 all-purpose yards, a school single-game record. And when you look at that tape, it was an incredible performance. And again, Brooks Fletcher just putting the hammer down, pulling forward.
That's a decisive run right there. And right now, on this drive, it looks like that Montana offensive line, this team is leading the Big Sky Conference in rushing. They've given up the fewest sacks in the conference. This big group of nasties up front are finally getting it going, moving people around.
This is the 10th play of the drive. It started back on the 3-yard line. Again, Fletcher, Brooks Fletcher, working behind his blockers. They can get a first down, John.
Yeah, I think that's a first down right there.
That's what the young man has done this drive. He has been the workhorse.
Yeah, he had that big third down catch on the bingo cross for the first down. And they're going to measure this.
And it is a first down for the Grizz. Student section is just off to the left. They stand the entire game. And they create so much noise and intensity. The band is in that end zone. And all the sound just bounces off the mountains back into this stadium. We talked about it. What an atmosphere, and I'm sure for the Lumberjacks, who are already back on their heels, It's causing all sorts of problems. Why not? Keeping it to number 24. That time he gets bottled up.
Number 24, Thomas Brooks Fletcher with the carry.
Yeah, that didn't work. They try a little counter action. Stephen F. Austin in their short yardage goal line front closed it down. That D-line, who was so impressive in the first quarter, has had a little lapse here on this drive. Now they're coming together with their backs to that end zone.
12th play of the drive coming up. Again, those big guys up front breathing heavy for the Lumberjacks. 2nd and goal. The rollout, and that was almost intercepted. Ryan Epperson had it, just couldn't bring it in. Boy, that would have been a game changer.
And that was all due to Tim Nickey, the defensive end. The play action away, he doesn't buy it for a second, and he's coming straight for Andrew Sell. Huge play by the defensive end. Should have been a huge play for Ryan Epperson. Should have been a pick.
So 3rd and goal from the 4. 3 wide to the right. Brooks Fletcher now lines up to the right of Andrew Sell. And he takes it himself. Touchdown Grizz.
This Montana offense, they've driven the whole field with the power rushing attack. They were lining up in 2 backs there, and the short yardage goal line looks, and then they decide to spread it out. They've got 3 wides and then a tight end split out wide to the top. Go with the belly action. There you see Levi Horn with the big kick out block, and Andrew Sell runs right behind him for the quarterback keeper touchdown.
So the extra point is good. And that was a 98-yard march. 14 plays. The Grizz on top 17-0. You're watching the NCAA Division I football championships. A couple of hearty souls enjoying their pizza and enjoying the Grizz on top 17-0. Already today, an upset. Southern Illinois goes down at home to William and Mary.
That CAA is powerful. You got Richmond and Villanova still going to play today from that CAA.
Kick that's again bobbled at the 2-yard line. Here comes Vincent Purvis. He's down around the 14-yard line. And the Lumberjacks, with the #1 offense in the country, are going to have to respond to that 98-yard drive.
Yeah, that was an impressive drive by Montana. Stephen F. Austin, they have moved the ball so consistently, but the 4 turnovers, how you going to win unless you start, you know, racking them up on your defensive side of the ball, taking advantage of miscues.
In the crowd now really revving things up. Moses quickly to the right, and again another drop pass. Graylin Crawford couldn't hang on.
Yeah, Graylin Crawford had the big seam route earlier, and that time he looked upfield before the ball was secured. A big no-no as a receiver. Sometimes it's tough. You're playing in cold. You don't even know. You've got to watch that your hands close around that thing because they're numb anyway.
Where that crowd is literally on top of the playing surface. They are right up on the field. Moses loses the football. I think the Grizz got another one, and they have. Big number 99, Tyler Hobbs, has the football, and the crowd's going wild.
And Montana's defense is doing this. It has generated these turnovers without blitzing at all. This is the bot. You're bringing 4 guys. Your D-line off the edge. You got Campbell using his speed. Severin Campbell strips that ball out. Severin Campbell, his brother Calais Campbell, Arizona Cardinals. The guy's like 6'8".
Yeah, he's a monster.
Lineman. Yeah.
game. Chase Reynolds back in now. You can see the Lumberjacks trying to strip that football. Jabbar Williams was doing everything he could to get the ball free, and Reynolds wouldn't let go.
You know, if I'm Montana, I look at these first few plays in the first and second quarter, and I decide that the stretch play is not working. The defensive line, the linebackers for Stephen F. Austin, too fast. They're playing off blocks. They're not allowing that edge to be gained. And there are no cutbacks because the guys on the backside are defeating blocks as well.
Sell with all day into the end zone. And it's a touchdown. Mariani with a terrific grab, stretching out.
That was a pretty pass. And a beautiful catch by Mariani. You watch the route. He sets him up like he's going outside. Quick stick and inside. The ball is delivered on time. And I'll tell you what, Josh Aubrey didn't have much of a chance with a pass that perfect. And it was a beautiful route on top of that.
So another fumble leads to 7 more points. And the Lumberjacks are absolutely stunned, down 24-0. You're watching the NCAA Division I Football Championships. J.C. Harper stunned on the sidelines. The good news, though, John Ritchie, is you look at the numbers, the turnover margin -5 today. There is a lot of time left in the second quarter. I mean, you got to look at the positives, right?
Yeah, this is pretty unprecedented, though.
This is similar to what happened to the Grizz last week when they fell way behind thanks to some costly turnovers. And again, Vincent Purvis, he's had some nice returns. Gets this one out around the 27-yard line. 25 on the return for Purvis. As Jeremy Moses has moved the football, but he has 2 interceptions and a lost fumble of his own. And when you look at what Montana has done, John Ritchie, under this current coaching staff, plus 85 in turnovers.
Yeah.
In the last 7 years under this coaching staff. That's remarkable.
Absolutely.
Purvis goes over the right side and out of bounds. This looks a little bit like the last time they met here in Missoula back in 1995 in the quarterfinals. At one point it was tied 14-14, and then look at the final score, 70-14. Ouch. And there's a first down. Dwayne Brooks held on to the football. Brought down by Trumaine Johnson.
These Montana defenders are coming up and just sticking people, making them pay for it.
Moses keeps it himself. Takes a pretty good shot. And Trumaine Johnson got a good lick in.
Looking downfield, ends up having to tuck it and then paying the price. Hits like that on days like today really hurt.
Offensive line with those huge splits. Sometimes they get even wider with this spread offense. Vincent Purvis now finding some room to run over the left side. Gets up a little shaky.
Yeah, now he's asking for Ramonte Hampton to come in. Shaking up a bit. Taking full advantage of those wide splits that you were talking about. You spread the defensive line out a little bit. Give it to him on the draw and let him pick his places, pick his poison.
3rd down and 3. There's the first down as Dwayne Brooks hangs on in Grizz territory.
Dwayne Brooks, he does that so much. Coming across the middle, this guy is fearless. Great hands, great presence, knows where he needs to be to get the first down. He's only been at the school for 2 years, and he's the school leader in career interceptions with 181.
That's complete on the outside to Aaron Ray. So the Lumberjacks now getting in a groove. Of course, they've moved the football. It's just most of their drives so far have ended in disaster, a pick or a fumble. 3 catches on the day for Aaron Ray, young man who's missed the last 2 weeks. Make it 4 grabs for Ray. Andrew Swink knocked him out of bounds.
Jeremy Moses likes the way Swink is playing off on Ray. And they'll keep taking that until Montana decides to take it away. 24 points, the biggest deficit of the season for Stephen F. Austin, trying to chip away at that right now as they enter the red zone.
The Grizz down 41-14 last week when they had 40 unanswered points. Lumberjacks over the middle. Cordell Roberson gets knocked down. The flag comes in. Andrew Swink goes down. Fell awkwardly on his shoulder.
Clear down on the field.
From up here, that looked like it was a good play. He must have got his left arm around the receiver, Cordell Roberson.
Pass interference. Number 3, defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Big penalty. Now, I really like this Cordell Roberson. The guy is a true freshman. Swink had his arm around the back a little bit. Looked like a nice play, nice effort. Let's hope he's all right as he landed funny. But Cordell Roberson, the big 6'3", 185 pounds, and that Swink, 5'9", giving up some height. Got up in the air, kind of helped himself a little bit with the arm around the waist.
Bobby Halka recalled the story when he was at UCLA with Coach Donahue, and he wanted to recruit John Ritchie. Said he tried everything he could to get you to come to UCLA, and you wouldn't do it.
Back in 1992, he was the assistant recruiting coordinator there, along with Rick Neuheisel was there as well, and J.C. Swink coming off. Looked like it was a lower body issue there. But yet, Bobby Houck, quality coach, and I guess you could say I have a small bit of history with it.
Takes a lot to turn down UCLA, pretty part of the country.
Yeah, for sure.
Back to the ground. That's Purvis. So now this is what the Lumberjacks are used to. The offense marching down the field. #1 passing offense, #1 scoring offense in the nation. That's what they've done in the red zone. First 9 games and the last 3 games, including today. Oh, another interception. Another terrible decision. Tyler Hobbs.
Now we've got 2 defensive tackles for Montana with an interception apiece. Austin Mullins had one earlier. Tyler Hobbs has one this time. He just dropped out. Montana knows Stephen F. Austin likes to run these underneath crossing routes, and I think what they're doing, you'll see Tyler Hobbs right here. What they're doing, they're coming up, faking like they're coming on a rush, dropping out, almost like a zone blitz, but they're not blitzing anyone in addition. They only brought 3 guys with pressure that time, and to counter these crossing routes, they're dropping defensive linemen out. It's paying huge dividends.
Russell trying to make him pay, looking deep down the field, and that almost gets intercepted. Josh Aubrey on the coverage had the deflection in the air and almost caught the ricochet.
And I think that should have been an interception. We've seen 2 plays now. Aubrey should have had that interception. And then earlier, Ryan Epperson, the linebacker, when Montana was heading in on the goal line, could have had a pick there. Got to take advantage of these possible turnovers because Montana is making good on all of their chances.
To Reynolds. Powers up the middle for a yard, maybe a yard and a half.
Yeah, things are just not opening up for Chase Reynolds. Downhill guy. The holes are few and far between. They had a lot more success with Thomas Brooks Fletcher. I'm not exactly sure why.
Claybo back in there now. 2-back look. Again, wide open. Mariani on the outside. I mean, he just runs free, John.
Yeah. Mark Mariani is getting inside Josh Aubrey consistently. Aubrey, see, he's trying to take the inside away, but then Mariani sets him up with a little stick move, gets that inside shoulder, and then he's home free. Beautiful throw as well.
That went for 39 yards, another first down. Reynolds cutting back. He gets wrestled down from behind.
That was one of those plays where, as a coach, you're just saying, no, 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 no. Oh, okay, all right, well, all right, we gained a few. I tried to cut that thing the whole way back. That thing developed really slowly. They tried to stretch again. Very unconventional way to run it.
Thomas Brooks Fletcher was so huge on that 98-yard drive. Haven't seen him since.
Yeah.
Reynolds, the workhorse, now in motion. Gets stood up, takes a couple nice pops. Big number 92, Sean Warren, was there, along with Devin Ducote.
There's some hitting going on down there. Stephen F. Austin flying up, swarming. And this Montana offense is really turning it on their last 3 drives. But I like the action on that play. Ended up motioning Reynolds, setting him up on the opposite side of the ball from where he started, and then giving him the handoff from the shotgun position. Kind of messes with the defense's keys.
Sell keeps it himself, takes a shot, takes a second shot, and then is shoved out of bounds by Ducote. And Sell kind of shaking up just a bit.
Yeah,
Kind of lost his breath a little bit there.
Well, he was standing straight up at contact. You know, if your quarterback's not going to slide, you should at least tell him to lower his shoulder or something.
Yeah, he is definitely hurting on the sidelines.
He took some shots and he was completely vertical.
They wear that rib protector,
shots, yeah.
but you can still take a pretty nice shot. So Brody McKnight, the fake field goal. Is he fast enough to get around the edge? No, well, maybe. Flag down. It could be a face mask. I think he's going to wind up short of the first down, but I think the face mask will give them a first down.
I don't know. We saw Jabara Williams clapping the Mike linebacker for Stephen F. Austin, nodding in agreement with the referees.
I think you're right, John. Let's wait for Butch Stovall. The OVC officiating crew saw him in the lobby of the hotel this morning.
Personal foul, face mask. Number 83, offense. The penalty is declined. First down.
Yeah, stiff arm, you cannot grab the face mask.
So it was a face mask. It's just on the Grizz, on the kicker. 24-0. Stephen F. Austin takes over.
Timeout will be first and 10 Jacks on the 25-yard line.
So Montana is turned away after the fake field goal attempt. Let's look at it one more time. Brody McKnight, the kicker.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to set up a run-pass option initially. Just could not outrun Andre Banks, the big cornerback for Stephen F. Austin, and then ended up getting called for the face mask. Tried the stiff arm, got his fingers hooked in there. The coach was telling him, hey, you got to keep your hand flat.
Moses looks left, goes right, and finds Graylin Crawford.
Probably the first face mask he's ever been called for. Probably didn't know that that was a call. Being a kicker
from British Columbia.
That's rare. Yeah.
And Moses now scrambles for a couple of yards. Will bring up 3rd and 2.
And look at the speed with which Stephen F. Austin gets back on the ball and set. They just wait for that ref to put the ball on the ground, and they're going. I don't know how they communicate the plays.
That was too high for Aaron Ray, so it brings up 4th down. And they'll have to punt this football away with 4:51 second quarter. Still a lot of time.
Sometimes I wonder with the haste with which they're going about running this offense, if they're getting these communication issues all resolved, because it looked like Ray ended up, you know, mistiming that, like he was unsure about the route he was supposed to be running. The ball was coming, but he was still a little bit unsure about what he was supposed to be doing.
Drew Nelson gets it away. Mariani fields it at the 31. Flag down. Mariani's just hard to bring down.
Jeez.
Up to the 41. That probably is going to come back.
He is the toughest former tennis player I've ever seen. I was a tennis star in high school. Well, as a football star, but
again, these guys were busy in the lobby. They went into a meeting room. The officials had their big meeting this morning.
On the return, off in the back. On the return, team number 31. 10-yard penalty from the spotted foul. First down.
So Tim Anderson called for a block in the back. That's what Montana did last week in the first half when they fell behind 41-14.
yeah, they had the 2 takeaways, but they also had uncharacteristic turnovers all over the place. Then they started the second half with a blocked punt return for a touchdown. Really set themselves in a hole before an offensive explosion ensued that was kicked off by a kickoff return by Mariani.
Sal hands off to Reynolds. Scampers forward, just straight ahead for 6 yards. In this Grizz offensive line anchored by 2 outstanding tackles. Levi Horn, we've talked about on the left side, big number 72. And how about Chris Dyke, big number 75, 6'7" and 6'8".
Yeah, both those guys are NFL prospects. Levi Horn, he's kind of the leader on that offensive line. Chris Dyke, really great on the edge versus a pass rush. Both have incredible size, and their guards are also both 6'7". They're mountains of men in Montana.
They are huge. Uh-oh. Nearly picked off. That's Derek Choice. Stepped right in the line of fire.
Slant route again. Little outside head fake. The ball was dropped a little bit behind Mariani. But he is, Josh Aubrey keeps buying these outside moves and then the underneath routes. I don't know if he's worried about getting set up for something heading straight down the field or what, but Mariani's got that quickness in his route running. That's really impressive.
Have to make that adjustment. That goes incomplete. It'll bring up a rare punting situation for the Grizz.
Yeah, they were in 2nd down and 3.5 yards. A nice run on 1st down, and now they have to punt it away.
Dwayne Brooks is deep for the Lumberjacks, along with Aaron Ray.
Yeah, the last time they had the two guys deep, it did not work out real well for them.
This time, Brooks gets out of the way.
I do not understand what they're doing back there. You got two guys back. Both times, no one has caught the punt.
Let's check out the bracket, John. Some are saying it's the most exciting bracket they've ever had when you look at the teams and their rankings. And already an upset today is Southern Illinois, number 3, goes down to William and Mary.
Yeah, William and Mary, just another one of those strong CAA teams. Richmond and Villanova, also of the CAA. Seen a lot of those games this year, and they're very impressive.
Uh-oh, another loose football. Could this be another turnover? I think it is. The Grizz, their 7th turnover of the first half. They come up with a loose football. 4 fumbles, 3 interceptions. Looks like Josh Stuberg, freshman linebacker.
You got the pitch out to Vincent Purvis. Just a nice strip of the ball, but I want to talk about Vincent Purvis with those sleeves on. That's not skin. You put the ball on that silky material and it's not sticking. I never liked carrying a ball with a long sleeve shirt on because it limits your touch, your feel for it, and also makes it easier to pop out. That thing came out way too easily.
Sal complete on the outside.
That's another thing. I mean, you look at these guys, the Montana team, they're getting all these turnovers. Everything's working like clockwork right now. Getting open downfield, breaking that thing off. You know, it's an impressive throw, impressive catch. But going back to the sleeves, you look at Stephen F. Austin, they're all wearing these long sleeves. And then you look at Montana, it's all skin against the elements. And that tells me that this Montana team is unaffected by the weather. Stephen F. Austin, they're not used to playing in this. I think the turnovers are resulting from that.
Back to Brooks Fletcher, who was a workhorse on that 98-yard drive. Well, John, I guess when you opened your collegiate career in Michigan, you played in some cold weather.
Yeah.
And in the NFL, obviously, you played in some cold games. You were always a guy who just went with skin?
I did always go with skin, but if it's cold like today, I go with the thermal underneath stuff and cut the sleeves way off so no one would know I had the thermal underneath stuff. But you want the raw skin on the arms just so the ball sticks better, and then you also don't want the defense or the other side of the ball to know that you're cold. It's a pride thing. It's and Stephen F. Austin, they make no bones about wearing the sleeves. Apparently, they're just they don't know that part about the playing in cold weather. Not supposed to let them know.
Not one person with sleeves on for the Grizz, and that's going to be a touchdown in the corner. Jevin Sembrano. A perfect pass by Andrew Sell.
Yeah, he's having quite a day early on. Got plenty of time back there. Lofts that thing up. Boy, that is a blown coverage right there. Michael Williams, the backup cornerback, Baylor transfer, just completely misread that thing. Sembrano able to take that corner out to pay dirt.
Extra point is good. So another turnover.
He kind of has some sleeves on now. At least they're three-quarter sleeves, right?
This was last week. 41-14, they fell behind to South Dakota State. Block punt. And the crowd was so quiet. People who were at that game said they've never heard this place sound so quiet. But then you go to number 80. Mariani, and what does he do? Runs it back and then seemingly turned the tide. Fourth quarter. There he is again. Reynolds broke free. Great individual effort. And John, it's the greatest comeback, they say, in Grizz football history. 40 unanswered points to win 61-48.
Yeah, that's incredible. I was actually listening to that game on the radio coming back from another game that I did, and I thought for sure Montana was done. Here's the #1 seed. How did they get down so far? How are they turning the ball over like this? And wow, the resiliency is incredible. When you look at their offense this half, quite a change. I mean, last week, first half, second half, they really turned the switch, picked the ignition on, and went into overdrive, floored it. Getting touchdowns from your defense doesn't help, doesn't hurt at all either, though.
That's what you have to do to stay warm in 22-degree weather. Still haven't seen any white stuff today. The weather forecaster said it was a 60% chance. And again, going nowhere is Raylan Crawford.
And when you get down like this, in this sort of environment, it doesn't help. You know, you're in the hostile enemy territory. The crowd is riding you. Well, there's J.C. Harper. He knows that this is a tough spot to be in. Got the elements against you. You know, this is an easy place to be for some guys to say, hey, this is, you know, let's cash it in. This is too tough. Going to really test their toughness on this Stephen F. Austin side of things.
Ramonte Hampton gets thrown down by Tyler Hobbs. Hobbs has an interception. And if you just dialed this in, it has been turnover city for the Lumberjacks. Moses. Darren Ray, and he was down that time before the ball broke free. 7 turnovers for the Lumberjacks.
And you know, part of what makes the Stephen F. Austin offense so tough to defense is because they always have the risk of running it. You know, normally they'll pepper in some run plays. So as a defense, you can't go nickel, you can't think pass all the time. Now they have to pass all the time. Except when they sneak it.
And on 3rd down, Moses comes up short. And the young man from Baytown, Texas, who was the co-player of the year in the Southland Conference, is a wee bit frustrated, understandably so. You know, John, you have the beautiful mountains behind the stadium, Mount Sentinel and Jumbo Mountain, and then right in the middle is Hellgate Canyon. And back in the day, that's when the Indians would ambush the settlers and the folks coming through. And I think Stephen F. Austin, they got ambushed today by these Grizzlies.
This first half. Absolutely.
Beautiful setting. Hellgate Canyon. And right behind that is the Clark Fork River, which was frozen over last night.
Right.
Beautiful scene. And some of the Lumberjack players were out on that river yesterday, kind of walking out on the ice.
Really?
Yeah, they see they would crack a little bit, then they'd hustle back to the side.
Jeez, that's a coach's nightmare right there.
So Drew Nelson will punt away. Short kick that bounces out of bounds around the 40-yard line. New Hampshire and Villanova getting ready to kick off. That's what we were expecting today. That's the scene.
R.J. Toman right there for New Hampshire. Excellent quarterback, and then Villanova's got an excellent quarterback themselves, Chris Whitney.
They have sleeves on, John.
Yeah.
They're quarterbacks, though, right?
I guess you can get away with it, Ed. Whitney wears those all the time.
Okay.
Even when it's warm out.
Yeah, that looks like a blizzard.
I like the look of that.
It's all on the outside.
You know, that's close to where I live. That's what I'm getting back at home right now.
Yeah, that swept through Houston, Texas yesterday, up through the southeast and now up the eastern seaboard. That snow. 71 unanswered points.
Oh, my.
Since the 5:40 mark of last week's third quarter.
Jeez, that
things are going right.
that
when
is
you can
all
do that.
around dominance.
There's the whoopie pass underneath. Beautiful play. That looked like it was stolen from the Florida Gators playbook. Tim Tebow does that all the time to Hernandez, his tight end.
Yeah, it works. A little shovel pass. You get the defense coming up field thinking it's a pass, and it is a shovel pass, but underneath to your back. That's the first big run we've seen for Chase Reynolds all day.
That one for 22 yards. Grizz trying to get on the board one more time before the halftime. Into the end zone, and Sam Gratton was out there, but he overshot him. That time it was good coverage by Josh Aubrey, who was glad to see somebody besides Mariani out there.
Here you see the shovel pass, kind of out of an option look, and you get your defensive end Tim Nickey coming up field. He makes a decision to go after the quarterback Andrew Sell. That opens things up inside for Chase Reynolds, who made the most of it. That was a gashing type of play. I don't think Stephen F. Austin was prepared for that. Maybe they hadn't seen that on film.
Grizz #1 in the land, undefeated. And Villanova has just scored to go up 7-0 in their game. Knocked out of bounds Sam Gratton with 14 seconds to play, out of bounds around the 11.
Braden's getting it going. This Montana offense is really clicking right now. And you see there's no pressure on Andrew Sell. Stephen F. Austin trying to do some games with that D-line, twisting guys, trying to break him free and get loose, but the protection was solid. It gives them all the time in the world to get open downfield, and that they are doing.
First and 10 from the 11, 14 seconds remaining. Sell into the end zone. Touchdown. Stephen Failer is tight end. And the onslaught continues.
9 seconds left in the half. Stephen Failer, smooth route runner. Stephen Failer, very balanced tight end. Shows he can get it done in the passing attack. He's been doing a pretty nice job blocking all day. Now they throw him a bone.
Knight has been very busy. That right leg is booting through another one. That was a 5-play, 59-yard march in 40 seconds. Boy, Sell's been nearly perfect.
And yeah, he's getting the time to throw, and that time they had Stephen Failer split out wide, trying to create some mismatches size-wise. And these are kind of fake push-ups. I don't know if those count.
That's the real McCoy.
Those are real ones. I don't know, some cheating, not full arm extension going on, but I mean, is this a cumulative thing where they have to do 38 this time? They just did 31 the time before?
Yeah.
Wow. See, those don't count to me. And that's a lot of help. And maybe they acknowledge that. Maybe it's more fun. Yeah, I didn't see, I don't think that was 38 either. I was like, I saw 6.
And these guys, the eye is woken up. Remember, he looked a little cold early on.
Wow, something got into him.
He's got his second win.
Yeah.
So the party continues here at Grizzly Stadium.
That's crazy. The guys with the body paint are still toughing it out. And they're staying active. I've been watching them a little bit. They're doing a lot of plyometric movements. Stay warm.
A little pooch kick. Fielded at the 27. Vincent Purvis will get knocked down with 4 seconds on the clock, and there they are.
See, they don't know. You can smear Vaseline all over your body, and it insulates you. Hey, wait, he's cheating. Oh, they know it's getting close. Maybe they don't realize that we can see them right now. They think they're taking it in for the half. They're going to leave and warm up. I don't know if that counts either. I don't think that counts for a full game. You still got 4 seconds left. You gotta be shirtless to the buzzer.
No longer the Grizz, it's the Riz, because the G is packed it up. Moses gets hit again as the first half comes to an end. And the Lumberjacks have just about been knocked out. The Grizz head to the locker room with a 38-0 lead. You are watching the NCAA Division I Football Championships. Welcome back to halftime here in Missoula, Montana, between the Grizzlies and Stephen F. Austin. It is Championship Saturday down in Atlanta, the Southeastern Conference Championship between Alabama and Florida happening as we speak. Tim Tebow, a main factor in that game as we look back at a great career and the legacy of the one and only Tim Tebow. And from the East Coast, we'll head west when we come back. A heartwarming story involving the USC Trojans. You don't want to miss it. That's next. Back here in Missoula, Montana, it is halftime. Beautiful part of the country, and sometimes we take for granted what we see on these awesome trips that we take every week, and that's something the USC Trojans football team will never take for granted again as we meet a very special young man. What a special story indeed. When we come back to Missoula, we'll take you around the country, the FCS playoffs, scores, and check in on some of the games. That's next. Don't go away.
Here in Carbondale, the FCS quarterfinals taking place. William & Mary picks up their first playoff win ever at Southern Illinois, 24-3. Dave Weekly, Renee Nadeau, we had the pleasure of calling it here at McAndrews Stadium. They're closing down this facility now. Southern Illinois going to move into a new home beginning next year. But, Renee, as far as our game is concerned, William & Mary's defense, they just dominated.
They really did. You know, and Deji Kareem came in leading the country in rushing per game, only had 27 yards rushing. They kept him in check and did an outstanding job since the beginning of the second quarter.
Yeah, the Peyton finalist was really counted on to carry the mail today for the Salukis, but frankly, it just didn't happen.
A lot of gang tackling, and they really kept him in check. There's one tackle by Trenton and company, a lot of white jerseys everywhere he went. On the flip side, what a game this young man had. I tell you what.
Jonathan Grimes was great. 30 carries, 133 yards, and he scored all 3 touchdowns for William & Mary. And after they spotted the Salukis a 3-0 lead, they scored 24 unanswered points for the victory.
And Jonathan Grimes, he just really made a statement here and made a statement for the whole conference and why they need to be where they are right now. And that's why there's so many CAA teams right now in the finals.
So William & Mary is through to the FCS semifinals for only the second time in school history. First time since 2004. So that's going to do it for our coverage here in Carbondale, Illinois, where, once again, our final score, William & Mary, the Tribe, 24, the Salukis of Southern Illinois, 3. Join us for an archived copy of this game by simply logging on to ESPN360.com. So long from Carbondale.
Back here in Missoula, Montana, the Lumberjacks down 38-0. Heading back to the field for the start of the second half, or what they hope. I mean, they're playing with pride. They hope to rally and make it a little more competitive. Doug Bell along with John Ritchie, and turnovers has been the story, John. 7 total turnovers for the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, that was a disaster of a first half. The first 2 were bad decisions by Jeremy Moses. 2 bad passes there, and then the punt flub just. You got to get away from the ball and the poison. Here's the fumble caused, Romonte Thompson couldn't hold on to it. And then, ensuing picks, these defensive linemen from Montana dropping off into coverage, completely fooling Moses. Then the ball just popping out, stripping the ball, ripping it away.
And the Montana defense last 15 drives dating back to last week. They've made some adjustments, and they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'd say so. This Montana team right now is just on a mission. And they have the upper hand right now. They're feeling it. You look at the stats. It's total yardage-wise. The Lumberjacks are moving the ball. They just they got butterfingers. And
bad decisions, and just things are like a big snowball rolling down a hill right now. Man, points off takeaways, 31 points. Incredible. Did this set some sort of record for a first half?
It might have. They're trying to get back to Chattanooga Finley Stadium for another championship game. Last time was 2001 as they took on Furman. The Paladins were looking for their 4th championship under Bobby Johnson. Of course, Montana headed by Joe Glenn. Rushing was the story of the game. Both teams were moving the ball on the ground, really a defensive battle. And in the end, 13-7, Montana wins. The goalpost came down. And some say that goalpost made it back here to Missoula and is buried somewhere in the mountains. I don't know. There's the success story, 17 consecutive playoff appearances. That, of course, is an FCS record. 28 all-time playoff wins, second only to Georgia Southern. And those national titles, 95 and 01, and now undefeated. They have their eyes on another one. The first under that man.
Yeah, and Bobby Houck, he's got the opportunity to lead this team to an undefeated season for the first time in the history of this university. And then on the other side, J.C. Harper. What's going through his mind? What do you tell the guys at halftime? I mean, you tell them they're still in the game. Do they necessarily believe that? As a player, being down like this, you almost just block out the situation. This is something, you know, they've had so much success, 10 wins, and now to come in here and just lay an egg in that first half, unable to hold the ball, unable to stop the Montana offense with the short field. You know, honestly, I don't remember the games that I played that were this lopsided when I was on the losing end, because it is so traumatic to your psyche that it like automatically gets erased post-game. It's like, so you don't have post-traumatic stress issues for losing so bad, your brain does you a favor and just drops it. Right now, J.C. Harper is hoping his team has not dropped it already.
So the Grizz will get the ball to start the third quarter. Zambrano with a nice return out to the 36-yard line. You know, you look back at this season for Stephen F. Austin, and in the opening game they played SMU. And SMU's going to a bowl game, by the way, for the first time in a long time. They had 8 turnovers in that game. So today they have 7. You got to go back to the opener to have this kind of loss on the giveaway takeaway ratio. Andrew Sell, what a beautiful first half he played. Arguably his best half of the season. Lumberjacks need to make a stop. 3 and out would do them quite nicely, and Reynolds gets stood up, and boy, he takes some shots, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. Fighting for those extra yards, spinning, twisting. You get stood up like that. When you're watching film after the game, as you advance through the levels, people used to always tell me, get down. Don't try to fight. You're fighting for an injury like that. You know, you got to learn how to get tackled and get to the ground. Preserve your body.
And they need him for next week, and what they hope is another trip to Chattanooga. Sell's first pass attempt in the second half goes to his big tight end Failer. Gonna bring up third down and about 3.5. Big targets, the tight ends. Failer's 6'5". Bowden is 6'5", and Overton is 6'6".
Yeah, and then Greg Hardy, who according to Bobby Houck is going to be fantastic, just young, the freshman. He's the smallest at 6'2", 245, but that is a good-looking group of big old tight ends. Strong.
Yeah, so third down and about 2.5 yards, and they go back to the ground, and there's the first down. So a new set of downs, the Grizz advance into Lumberjacks territory. We showed you the stadium here as we started the third quarter, and people have not gone home. What they do, they go outside and they tailgate at halftime. They're allowed to leave and then come back in. And the joke is, it's so cold here, they usually just go out and have a Diet Coke and then come back in. That's the joke here.
Yeah.
Maybe hot chocolate, huh? And back to Reynolds as they run that clock. And again, Reynolds takes punishment. One of those players, in fact, the entire offensive unit no sleeves.
Yeah.
As John said, all skin.
Yeah.
There's the crowd outside. Hey guys, come on back.
Hot chocolate for everyone.
Yeah.
And diet soda is helping them. No, Chase Reynolds, though, he's having a good start to this second half with the cutbacks. There you see him taking the draw straight ahead, the dive straight ahead, but he's been finding some holes that aren't obvious with some quick, lateral cuts, and there you see him spinning around, refusing to go down. This is a guy who has 21 touchdowns now this season. They really lean on him. And right now, in a situation where they're trying to grind the clock, keep the ball away from this Lumberjack offense, he's doing his job.
They're 5 of 10 on third down conversions so far today. They convert another one wide open. It's Dan Bowden. So we've seen Failer and now Bowden.
Yeah, this is perfectly set up. You run the ball, run the ball, run the ball with Chase Reynolds. There you fake it and roll out. That play is always open. When defenses bite on the play action, and you have to, after you've just seen so many of that same play. There you see a nice block by Mark Mariani on a tough Will linebacker, Devin Ducote. The tight end's always open in the flat when they buy the run fake.
Winky Surrey with a tackle for the Lumberjacks.
Winky is the nickname for weekend for Surrey.
Yeah, big number 91. Very unusual first name, Weekend for.
Yeah.
And the coaches say, we don't even know how to pronounce it, so we just call him Winky, and he loves it.
Looks like as far from a Winky as you can get. He's a big man.
You list him at 280.
I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah, it could be a little heavier than that. And Sell again wide open at the tight end spot is Failer. And he just rumbles down inside the 10-yard line.
Montana featuring that 1-2 punch. There you see the play action again. And then sitting it down and then rolling with the quarterback when he felt pressure is Failer. Failer tried to sit it down over the ball, but when Andrew Sell started taking it to the edge, he went with them. Good job of feeling what the quarterback needs.
Back to the ground game, gaping hole, and there's a touchdown for Chase Reynolds.
And that's been there this whole drive. He's cutting it back, but what he's doing is he's pressing the line of scrimmage before cutting it back. That means his offensive linemen able to get on their blocks and hold them. And he just makes that nice shallow cut, hits the back door. Another touchdown. Got some cuts on his bare arm. Rugged.
He's a tough guy, he really is.
The Grizzly.
That cannon shakes the entire stadium as McKnight boots it through. He's got all sorts of nicks in those arms, huh? Got the Grizzly Adams beard. It's 45-0. You're watching the NCAA Division I Football Championships. Now 45-0, and Chase Reynolds is making plans for later dinner reservations, I think.
They had, right. They had the inside zone. You see the great blocking up front. Inside zone means those offensive linemen are taking a step to the right, which is what they did, and then taking that defensive lineman wherever he wants to go, latching on. You see the season, this season he's got 22 touchdowns. Last season he had 23. Chase Reynolds doing a great job of pressing the line of scrimmage before his cuts, allowing his offensive linemen to get on those blocks, and then just squeaking it backside. That was a big drive. Open the half.
Brody McKnight kicks off. Here comes Vincent Purvis. Purvis got a little speed, a little burst. Gets it out to the 33-yard line. A very nice return. Now the Lumberjacks will try to get something started. They had 7 turnovers in the first half. Jeremy Moses, again, 14 of 24 for 165 is not bad, but those 3 picks, in fact, 6 in the last 2 games. has been a problem. A big problem. Flips it out to Ramonte Hampton.
That was an interesting play drawn up. They took Ramonte Hampton and motioned him behind the quarterback and swung the ball out to him, and
he got a nice block from Dwayne Brooks for a 4-yard gain.
Hampton again over the right side. Brings up 3rd down quickly for the Lumberjacks.
They're always in hurry-up mode, but this is, I don't even know what you'd call it. Ultra accelerated hurry-up mode.
I think they call it the NASCAR. If you look at the scoring offense coming into today. And there's a 1st down. And more as they get into Montana territory. Dwayne Brooks. He laid it on the ground a couple of times in that 1st half.
You watch film on these guys and you see this play an awful lot. The slip screen there to Dwayne Brooks coming across the middle. They throw him a lot of balls.
And another one there bounces. Moses needed to get that up just a bit.
But once again, they were trying to just do what they did at the start of this game when they were moving the ball so effectively. Flip the ball out quickly to receivers, in particular Dwayne Brooks, and let them work their magic in space.
2nd and 10, and Lumberjacks trying to get on the board and break this shit out. We saw the blitz that time. Managed to get it out to Purvis, but he just gets it back to the line of scrimmage. That blitz was coming hard from Trumaine Johnson.
Yeah, he was lucky to get that thing away. That's one of the first times today we've seen Montana come with the blitz. They brought the cat cornerback blitz. Trumaine Johnson was right in his face.
3rd and 10. They're 5 of 9 on 3rd down conversions today. That's pretty good. Moses has a long time. There's a shuttle pass that goes incomplete. Might have been better off to tuck it and run.
Yeah, I thought he had some open grass in front of him. Jeremy Moses looking downfield, looking at it. That zone has everyone covered. As a last-ditch effort, tries to flip it to Vincent Purvis. It just wasn't quite ready, and it was behind him a little too much.
So 4th and 10, down 45-0. They'll go for it in Grizzlies territory. And the crowd, they want more. They were revving it up, making it difficult to hear. Looks like a free play as he takes a shot. There's the interception, but that will come back. And the loose football goes out of bounds. So Johnson with the pick loses it out of bounds, but I think that'll be coming back, and Moses got up and he's hurt.
He just got absolutely walloped. He didn't even, he was lifted up by George Bias, the right tackle. He couldn't even get up off the ground himself.
Player injured.
Offsides, defense, number 47. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 4th down.
With the free play because of the offsides, Jeremy Moses tries to get this thing off. So that is not just offsides, that is serious violation right there. And then George Mercer, defensive end, blasted him.
And really,
and I don't think he's all right.
That was, he picked him up and really laid him down to the turf. So Moses is wobbly, and Dalton Williams will come on to replace him. But again, Moses is still in the playing field.
I'll tell you,
and that's
playing in the cold. Yeah, right.
That's what J.C. Harper was saying. Hey, wait a minute, my guy's still on the field.
Yeah.
You can't whistle the play ready to go.
Well, I can tell you, playing in the cold, every hit hurts a lot more. A big old defensive end who, you know, kind of cleans your clock, that hurts a lot in the cold, but it hurts even worse when you're down 45-0.
So Dalton Williams, the backup, And that's what he's done in really mop-up duty this year. 4 touchdowns. Big kid at 6'4" from Coppell, Texas.
Yeah, he's got a lot of talent, but he's just inexperienced. It's still 4th down here.
Rushing 4. Oh, and he gets nailed. He loses the football, and it's a free ball. They haven't whistled it dead yet. And the Grizz jump on it at the 45-yard line of the Lumberjacks.
Wow.
That's 8 turnovers now.
This Montana team is like a group of hungry piranhas. Look at the swarming rush here. And this is nothing special at all. They're just coming. They're coming with 4 down linemen. That's Jace Palmer, defensive end, who comes in, dislodges the ball. And it's like there's blood in the water for the hungry school of piranhas that are devouring the Lumberjacks right now.
8 turnovers for the Lumberjacks. Brooks Fletcher in there running back. Sell going for broke. Again, wide open on the outside is Mariani.
I don't know. Josh Aubrey. You look at the move. He's buying these moves, and right there they're cover 2. He tries to get a a little hold up, allow the safety to come over and help him. Doesn't get enough of a delay tactic. Jordan Aubrey, the free safety, not able to help him out. The ball was placed right in the dead spot there between where the cornerback needs to cover and where the safety needs to take over. But Josh Aubrey, when he's been, I guess that's 2. We're talking 2 brothers, Josh and Jordan Aubrey, not able to tandem cover Mark Mariani.
Mariani now 111 receiving yards on the day. And we still have 8 minutes plus left in the 3rd quarter. He lines up on the right side. And you bring Claybo in as the blocking back. Off the fingertips of Dan Bowden.
As a receiver, as a tight end, you got to catch every ball that's thrown your way because you don't get that many of them. But I can tell you from experience, it's tougher to catch balls to the left flat than it is to the right flat. The reason being, teams like to throw to the right flat more because, well, when they have a right-handed quarterback, it's an easier throw. So you get more practice catching in the right flat. As a result, in the left flat, the ball's spinning a different direction compared to where your hands are, where your body is. It's makes it tough sometimes.
Back to Brooks Fletcher. Thomas Brooks Fletcher, a senior from Bellevue, Washington, was the main cog of that 98-yard drive in the first half. Well, it's nice to have a guy like that as the backup to Reynolds.
I'll say. Jabbar Williams making plays still. He's a guy we haven't talked much about today. Their Mike linebacker for the Lumberjacks.
Sell sets up that screen. Well, that was a terrific tackle by Sean Warren. That is a large man.
Yeah.
Cat quick on the tackle.
Watch him. Number 92, Sean Warren. He just sniffs it out and runs right along with Thomas Brooks Fletcher. Sean Warren listed at 285 pounds. A suspect weighing situation there, but he is big, and he's back after missing 4 games with a sprained knee, and very, very talented.
33-yard field goal attempt now for Brody McKnight. Hit one earlier today. 12 of 21 on the season. Making 13 of 22, and that cannon shakes the stadium again. And the top-seeded Grizz of Montana now up 48-0. When we come back, we'll check out the brackets. Who's done what already today? The students are back. The G-Man, who had his coat on at the end of the second quarter, has finally thrown the coat off. As we look at the brackets, William and Mary upsets Southern Illinois. That was in Carbondale today. The last game played in the old stadium there for SIU. And Villanova leads 17-0 second quarter in that snowstorm against New Hampshire.
Yeah, I think Villanova is just better equipped to deal with those sort of inclement conditions. Their rushing attack is almost unstoppable with their option.
And the kick again, fielded by Purvis. Dangerous return man, always sets the Lumberjacks up with nice field position. And again, when you go back to last week, Bobby Houck's team, that tremendous comeback, 40 unanswered points last week, and now 88 unanswered points since the 5:40 mark of last week's third quarter.
Yeah, the halftime speech last week was not only fire and brimstone, but it was some sort of magical fairy dust as well. Talk about motivating for the long haul, right?
Moses back in. He was shaken up that last drive, you might remember. And he hands off to Ramonte Hampton. And Hampton gets walloped.
Nice
Jordan
job.
Tripp was there, true freshman from Missoula.
This Montana defense stringing it out. And we knew coming into this game that the Lumberjacks had a lot of speed on both sides of the ball. Montana's playing with good technique and keeping their outside shoulder free in the run game to not let runs get around the corner.
Weighted pass to the outside, goes to Graylin Crawford. Next week, here in Missoula, the winner of Appalachian State and Richmond. I think it's safe to say that it looks like Montana's going to win this game.
Well, if last week is any indication, and
you never know. Is that what you're telling me?
You never know.
Okay. Moses on third down. And that'll be short of the first down. Depends on the mark. Dwayne Brooks dove forward. I think he dove short.
Looks like they're
going to give him a favorable spot.
Yeah, absolutely favorable. But once again, underneath route. Kind of jump forward for that first. That is some friendly reffing being done right there. And down on the field is Jace Palmer, who had the big sack the series before on Dalton Williams.
And remember, the NCAA Division I Football Championship continues on Friday. It's December 11th. ESPN2 brings you the first semifinal live at 8 Eastern. And for more information on the Division I Football Championship, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. Now, there are no lights here at Grizzly Stadium, so it would have to be a day game next week.
Yeah.
They won't be playing a night game. I know they put a bid in for the championship game starting in 2011. They have the top attendance figures of anybody in the country. App State is right behind.
Two beautiful facilities. I was just at Appalachian State last week, and it was brand spanking new. Folded the brim. Much like this place, it's a great place to watch a football game.
Quickly, Graylin Crawford still on his feet, but look at all the maroon jerseys swarming. Everybody, that's 6 Grizz defenders got a piece of that one. That'll be a loss. There's an injured player now down in the field. We'll check. It looks like Josh Harris.
Yeah, I believe it is Josh Harris. So we've just had 2 defensive ends go down 2 plays in a row. Josh Harris, the freshman. The play before it was Jace Palmer, the senior. This is not a promising trend for Montana. They roll a lot of guys through there, but there's only so many guys to go around, right?
You know, last time, we mentioned it earlier, back in 1995 in the quarterfinals, the last time Stephen F. Austin came here in the playoffs and they lost 70-14. And members of the broadcast team and the athletic department who were at that game told us that it was grass back then. They said it was frozen and there were all sorts of ruts in the ground. They said it was a scary place to play, and their kids, you know, when they fell behind, they wanted to get out of here. And I wonder now as J.C. Harper looks on,
on field turf.
Maybe
it's the same feeling.
Tough to stay focused when you're down 48-0.
I'll say. Absolutely,
but they really had a terrific season, and this guy has turned the entire program around, J.C. Harper.
Yeah.
And this offensive style that they run, this pass-happy offense,
and he keeps them loose. You know, he's a loose guy. He's got a loose team. They have fun playing football.
Moses somehow gets it out to Hampton. Hampton got nailed by Keith Thompson. Talk about a loose football team. This was yesterday. Now remember, we're talking temperatures in the 20s, and they're out just having a good time without any shirts on.
Well, they're testing the cold, I guess.
A little different where they're from, 50 degrees today.
Yeah, and look at the elevation. That's an issue, too. People forget this place is 3,200 feet up in the air. And he's stopped. I think they held him from the first down. We're talking 3,200 feet up in the air. There is not enough oxygen to be breathed up here.
It makes a difference, especially on those big linemen, the big defensive linemen. They don't realize it until they really start getting out there playing multiple plays, and that goes for a first down. Ramonte Hampton.
I'll tell you what, there just isn't as much oxygen in the air. Your body needs that oxygen to fuel your muscles, to give energy to what you're doing. When you play at altitude, it is a strange feeling, and you are gassed after warm-ups. If you're not accustomed to it, Montana is. The Lumberjacks are not.
So Hampton now will be replaced by Purvis, and another player down in the field for Montana. Actually, two players are down. That's Keith Thompson who's down.
What in the world? This is a strange drive, isn't it? Everyone's
that's
falling
Keith Thompson.
Like flies. You hope.
And the other injured player for Montana's Carson Bender, number 37.
Yeah, he's their number 3 D tackle. Another crucial guy in that rotation. Keith Thompson had a big hit a couple plays ago, had a huge hit last week. You know, very physical for a little guy.
Bender, a junior from Deer Lodge, Montana. Appears to be okay. And Keith Thompson actually jogged off the field. Thompson, a senior cornerback who they really depend on in that secondary. You should get a good look at the eyes of Jeremy Moses, the co-player of the year in the Southland Conference. Larry Hart, a defensive end at Central Arkansas, shared that honor with him. First deep pass he's thrown all day. And it's intercepted. Looking for Cordell Roberson. Instead, it's the 9th turnover of the day. That's Shan Schillinger.
Shan Schillinger, that's a first we've really
what an
spoken his name. That is what you call closing on the ball. He's the free safety. They're running that thing right down the seam. What a play.
Play of the game. That's beautiful. It's 48-0. You're watching the NCAA Division I Football Championships. Montana leads 48-0. Doug Bell and John Ritchie. 9 turnovers now for the Lumberjacks. 9. Unbelievable.
A couple bad decisions early on by quarterback Jeremy Moses. A muffed punt. And then just absolutely removing the ball from Ramonte Thompson. And defensive lineman dropping into pass lanes. This ball was just stripped, but it came out awfully easy from Vincent Purvis. The sack. And then this is just a beautiful interception. Shan Schillinger came up with that thing. Really closed on the ball. Great catch
The Grizz goes to the ground to run some clock.
24, Thomas Brooks Fletcher with the carry.
School record is 10
Williams with first contact.
turnovers or takeaways in a game. That happened way back when against Boise State.
And don't forget that the Lady Grizz basketball home
And you know, there is talk, John. It's interesting. As we were doing research and talking to some of the people here, I know some of the local sports writers have let it be known that their opinion is that if the Grizz wins the national championship this year, perhaps the school should start looking into making that move to a bigger level, like Boise State did, because they clearly dominate the Big Sky Conference.
Yeah.
And there's no question they are the dominant team in the Big Sky. And this would be their third national championship if they could pull it off.
Yeah.
So what do you think about moving to that next level instead of being the big fish in the little pond? How about being joining the other?
Well, I think that really changes some things. This school has no problems bringing guys in. Guys want to play for a winning school, but you make that jump. You know, they have a ton of consecutive conference titles, 12 in a row. You make that jump, you no longer are going undefeated, and that's guaranteed. I mean, they are excellent at Montana, but they will not be this dominant. There is no way when they make the jump. Now, it could happen ultimately once they start bringing more people in.
Like it has at Boise State.
Yeah, certainly. You know, and they have a great coach. They have a great system. It could be done, but for a while, it's going to be tough to bring those great top recruits in because there's just that uncertainty, and you know you're going to lose.
There's another first down on the pass to Thomas Brooks Fletcher.
6-yard gain, good for another first down.
The crowd is still fired up and revved up on this Saturday afternoon in Missoula.
17-yard line.
Bobby Houck has done a magnificent job. You see the crowd has come in back. They leave at halftime and then they come back. Most of them all bundled up. Some of the students are still going strong with no shirts at all. Impressed by those guys. Big hole up the middle. Powerful running by Purvis, but let's credit the offensive line. Glimp, Wright. Excuse me. Horn, Operud, Dyke, Atlantic, Hillisland.
Yeah, they've been blowing things open, especially this second half. That is a big old running lane. And then you look at the missed tackle there by Chad Haynes. That breaks him into the open field, but this offensive line moving people out of the way. Thomas Brooks Fletcher has had a lot of success today. That offensive group must really like him because they are clearing folks out of there.
Give him 5 more. He now has 80 yards on the day.
He's having a great game. Tough all-purpose guy, very consistent, and he is running with a lot of purpose. Even when the holes aren't massive, he's doing it himself. And if you look on the perimeter when they're running this ball, take a look at Mark Mariani as well. Watch the way he blocks up to maybe even past the whistle sometimes. He is a complete player. Catches a lot of balls, but man, he's a good blocker too. Now Josh Aubrey coming off. He's had a tough day. You know, he's playing at altitude, running all over the place, trying to cover Mark Mariani. Now getting blocked by Mark Mariani. There you see the big fellas.
They are big
up front. They are absolutely massive, that offensive line.
Hillisland 320. Chris Dyke 300.
You know what? Throw those weights out the window. This is the end of the season. Those weights were at the end of the summer conditioning when they were fittest.
There you go.
You add about 25 pounds to each of those weights. I guarantee it at this point in the year.
They are large men.
For sure.
Second down and 4.
Another great run. Ooh,
and there's a loose football. Looks like the Lumberjacks might have gotten their first turnover of the day. Waiting for that signal. Haven't seen it point the way of Stephen F. Austin all day. And there it is, the first turnover of the day for the Lumberjacks.
Well, now they got the ball in good field position. Little lead ISO there. And, yeah. Not sure how that ball came out of there. Maybe it was Chad Haynes ripping it out while tackling. Nice job of stripping the thing out. A couple defenders there, you know, one guy holding them up, another guy strip it out. Thomas Brooks Fletcher, who was having such a great drive, puts it on the ground.
Dalton Williams now back in at quarterback, replacing Moses. Completes his first pass of the day to Hampton. It's run out of bounds by Alex Shaw.
Second down and 5.
Ramonte Hampton has really been getting some action. But Dalton Williams, very talented, but also very inexperienced. He's got a few touchdowns on the ground this year. We'll see Hampton again, who was the third-team guy, but now Tyrone Ross has been out, so he's back playing a lot more. And then Dalton Williams just getting things done. When he has been given a chance, he scored 4 touchdowns on the ground, has an 80-yard TD pass to his credit.
That goes incomplete, looking for Purvis. 48 seconds to play, third quarter. Shannon Dawson is the offensive coordinator for the Lumberjacks. And he learned this offense in working with Hal Mumme. And he was at Southeast Louisiana with Coach Mumme, and then Coach Mumme went to New Mexico State. And Mumme and Mike Leach worked together way back when at Kentucky. Same exact offense. Well, that pass took a long time to get out there. Dwayne Brooks will be short of the first down. He floated that one out there.
Yeah, he did. Watch Dwayne Brooks. Again, the stork route. Catches it, gets upfield in a hurry. He is an explosive athlete.
On third down, Purvis gets turned backwards. Number 96, Josh Harris is in there.
Harris and Lebsock coming in, stuffing him back.
They may or may not get this play off before the third quarter. It looks like they're going to take their time as time ticks down. That's the end of 3 quarters in Missoula. And the Grizz dominating this one.
Look, and you see Coach Houck saying, run, run, everyone run.
I'll tell you what, that's good coaching right there.
It's the start of the fourth quarter. Montana up 48-0, and don't think for a second that they've given up.
Look at Bobby Houck. Bobby Houck's telling his guys, the quarter changes, we're changing fields. Run, run, run. These guys are buying into the program. That is great discipline. And then look at Stephen F. Austin in the background, just kind of walking off.
They want this shutout. Dalton Williams in at quarterback. Jeremy Moses. I think they're just giving Williams a chance now. Fourth down. To the ground it goes, and I think he got stymied. It depends on the spot. The Grizz already running off the field. And he, although yes, it's a turnover on downs. They won't even measure.
The shotgun, they give it to Ramonte Hampton, and has nowhere to go. That defensive line got lower, fired out harder. And the Lumberjack offensive line, all you need to do is push your guy back past the first down marker. They were not low enough. Montana beat him at the point of attack. That's serious want-to for the Grizzlies right there. A lot of pride in the shutout.
Justin Roper in at quarterback now. Peter Wynn in at tailback. Good look at Roper, who's played quite a bit this season. Young man from Buford, Georgia, transfer from Oregon. That's where he started his career, and that coaches are very high on Roper, big 6'6" kid.
Yeah, he's gigantic. 6'6", 215. Very gifted athletically and got a heck of an arm on him. Just new to the program.
Played quite a bit this season, this undefeated season for the Grizz. Peter Wynn moves forward for 5 yards, and this program, like so many of the very successful programs on this FCS level, get a lot of transfers. People aren't playing at the bigger program. Let's go here where we can play.
Yeah, and Justin Roper is just another guy along those lines. Look at Joe Flacco sitting on the bench at Pitt. All the talent in the world, makes the change, goes to Delaware, takes him to the national championship game, and gets drafted in the first round by the Baltimore Ravens. Great career in the NFL.
Well, Sean Warren absolutely gobbled up Peter Wynn.
Yeah, he is everywhere. Sean Warren is just fantastic. He's a big old guy, terrific player on that D line. Watch him. I mean, he is just aware of his surroundings. Dropped off. I mean, he beat Wynn over there to, you know, where he was taking the ball. Just has this uncanny presence of mind and feel for the game of football, all the while being massive and also very athletic.
Sean Wren will punt it away for the Grizz. Takes his time. Beautiful punt. Good attack at the 5-yard line. Don't go backwards. Ooh. That was not the right direction for Aaron Ray. Actually touched the end zone and then retreated for a second time. 48-0 Grizz on a Saturday in Missoula. All right, that end zone here at Grizzly Stadium is almost like the black hole for the Oakland Raiders and John Ritchie.
Yeah.
Of Raiders fame. They say you have to be a hearty soul to stay in that end zone the entire game. And you better root for the Grizz or you're going to be in trouble.
I guess, yeah, they look kind of tame right now. And also not black. It's like the maroon and multicolored rainbow hole.
The Grizz end zone. Better look out. Alton Williams gets sacked. Number 91, Bobby Alt.
Bobby Alt. This was, oh wow, could have been a safety. Everyone's covered downfield. Dalton Williams holding on to that thing way too long for being in that position on the field. Throw it away.
He's got to be careful now. And this offense is not suited for being on the 1-yard line
at all.
Quickly gets that pass to Cordell Robertson.
I really like Cordell Robertson. You know, he, with Aaron Ray being out, he had a huge game last week. I was really impressed with his hands, the way that he catches the ball away from his body. He's a big target, big fluid target at 6'3". Big hit there.
Yeah, that was a third down play.
Caleb McCody will, McCurdy will lay some hat on you if you don't watch it.
Yeah, he's another one of those guys with the nicked up arms and elbows. Doesn't seem to bother him on this cold day.
Well, they're frozen. Like I think these guys don't even know probably that they're all gashed. Their arms are like the sides of old battleships with war wounds on them. And they'll feel it when they get in the shower after.
Ooh. A low squib kick that takes a Lumberjacks bounce. There's a man. Mariani still on his feet down inside the 20-yard line. He's unbelievable.
Mark Mariani just refuses to take his foot off the accelerator. Nice job of fielding this thing on the run, on the bounce. And then he is full speed ahead, just kind of winding and weaving his way through there. The blocking scheme, not what it needed to be, because it was a punt that threw a lot of guys off.
That's Jordan Tripp down for the Grizz. Several players have been down for Montana. You saw Mark on the return, and here's what he's done receiving today.
Mark Mariani has been running precise routes. That was his first catch of the day. It took a while for him to get involved in the offense, but once he did, he was burning guys with precise route running, very abrupt cuts. Spent a lot of time beating guys to the inside. Wow, new school record too, 2,801 career receiving yards. Good for him. He deserves it, and he does so much for them. You know, the kickoff return last week was the catalyst for that huge 40 points that they racked up. Punt returns as well, as we just saw. Great blocker, too.
Roper on the rollout. Had an open receiver and bounced that one. Zambrano was there.
Oh boy, Javen Zambrano. Javen Zambrano is the fastest guy on this Montana team. And he was so wide open on that play. He must have been flying. But that was a poor pass by Justin Roper. You know, he was rolling to his left. Being a right-handed quarterback, rolling left, you really got to focus on flipping your hips around, rotating the shoulders the whole way, and having good technique, and he did not.
Back to Wynn. Goes up the middle for 4.5 yards. Peter Wynn, true freshman out of Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, Peter Wynn, I was looking at him during warm-ups when the other guys, some of the Montana, during warm-ups, Stephen F. Austin's team, the pre-warm-ups, no one was on that side of the field. Everyone from Montana was down there. They're just lounging in the cold. And Peter Wynn had his jersey on with nothing on underneath it. You know, most guys are wearing sweatsuits at that point. He is completely impervious, apparently.
Roper. He finally gets thrown to the ground. Big number 96, Andre Hicks, his 5th sack of the season. And in talking with the coaching staff, here's the guy who's really the unsung hero of this unit. Without him, Tim Nickey wouldn't have had the year he's had.
Right, Andre Hicks, that defensive end, he's taken a lot of blocking assignments. You know, he's getting the attention of defenses, opening things up for Nickey. That time it was, I believe, a coverage sack. I think Justin Roper is not getting the ball out the way he needs to. He's not reading this defense quite quickly enough.
43 yards for Brody. McKnight. And he misses that one, hooks it just a little bit to the left. So his first miss of the day. And when we come back, we'll take a look at the end of an era. That's next. .9:31 to play, 48-0 Montana. These programs, of course, Montana at the top of the scale. These programs, Hofstra, Northeastern, disbanded football programs. Hofstra, 69 years, John, in Northeastern. I know you called one of their games earlier this year. After 74 years, disbanding the football program.
Yeah, I did a game at Hofstra this year as well. You know, they've had their ups and downs. They've had some good years. But it's sad to see him go. There's going to have to be some redistribution of players and to those other CAA teams. I bet there's going to be some heavy recruiting for some of those guys.
Players are still want to play. Some of them are pretty good players now, free to move anywhere they want to go. Again, we are live in Missoula, Montana, with the Grizz, #1 in the land, taking on Stephen F. Austin, the Lumberjacks. Doug Bell along with John Ritchie. And the Grizz D has forced 9 turnovers. And they're just not allowing the Lumberjacks to do anything offensively as Ramonte Hampton gets thrown backwards by Caleb McSurdy.
Yeah, that McSurdy, he is a rough and tumble customer, and he's having a good day. They rotate him in there under normal circumstances. These are extenuating, being that it's 48-0. He's getting a lot more time than he normally would, and he's making good on it.
3rd down and a long 11 from Dalton Williams, the backup quarterback. 10 turnovers on the day. Throws it right to Brock Coyle, who will never have an easier interception in his life.
Wow. There's a problem. He's got that head mask. I'm telling you, the more sleeves, the more insulating stuff you wear, the worse you play in the cold. But yeah, you look at Brock Coyle there. He's at the inside linebacker. He's dropping to his hook curl area, and that is inexplicable. It's obvious that Dalton Williams was trying to get it to the crossing route behind Coyle, but to somehow see through him like he was an invisible 6'2", 215-pound person. Wow, 10th takeaway today. Single game school record.
Ties the record, yeah. They still got time to break the record. The way things are going, and Wynn runs it up the middle there. His time ticks down towards the 8-minute mark. And again, next week the Grizz at home against either Richmond, the defending national champs, or Appalachian State. App State won it back-to-back there. Back-to-back-to-back.
Yeah, 3 backs. 2 outstanding programs. Mike London there at Richmond has really taken over and won that national championship last year to end Appalachian State's streak.
Wynn moves forward. You know, what's interesting is Virginia looks for a new football coach. Al Groh resigns last week under fire, and Mike London used to work for Al Groh in Virginia, and there's many who say once Richmond finishes this season,
right,
he may wind back up with the Cavaliers in the ACC.
Mike London is a tough head coach, and he was a guy who spent a year as a police officer in Richmond, Virginia, and then, you know, played a little bit of pro football, then decided to hang that up and became a police officer. So he instills discipline in his squad. So wherever he goes, if he goes, they will have success.
Tyler Palmer completes it down to the 5-yard line. His first grab today, the big receiver.
Nice pass. Tyler Palmer coming on the slant route. You know, it's crazy when you think about it. This guy's playing wide receiver, and his twin brother, Jace, is a defensive end for Montana. So you know he's a pretty large receiver. He's the kind of guy that quarterback can find pretty easily.
Wynn breaks one tackle. There's big old number 92, Sean Warren, now letting him get in there. He's tired of them scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, and that's a mismatch there size-wise. 5'8", 175 Wynn. There's Jace, twin brother. The Palmers. See, he's got the J in front of the Palmer. And then there, you see you got the T in front of the Palmer.
That makes sense.
That's the differentiate. I don't think they look that much alike because they have different numbers.
Different hairstyles.
And the hair. The hair's a big factor. You're right.
And Wynn runs right into the arms of Jabbar Williams. We haven't mentioned Jabbar much today. He has had an outstanding year for the Lumberjacks defense.
Yeah.
There's the wild hair of...
We can't really see Tyler Palmer's hair, but I don't think it looks like that. Yeah, it's a little different. They're differentiating themselves. Twins will do that, I understand. But going back to Jabbar Williams, he's been quiet today, but an All-American and leader on that defense for the Lumberjacks.
Did he catch it in bounds? No, out of bounds. Tyler Palmer tried to get those feet down. And again, there's no replay.
Let's see if he caught that thing. Very close. He had his foot out of bounds on the ground and then dragged the foot that was inbounds. And his foot was out when he gained possession.
So Brody McKnight on to try to get the Grizz up to that 51 mark. Missed his last attempt. This one from 20 yards. Not a problem. So Bobby Hout's Montana bunch as the cannon goes off. That's 51 push-ups they got to do. On top of all those others. 51-0. All right, we've added it up. They do the number of push-ups for points every time.
Oh, we got a cheater. Oh, my arm hurts. There's too many, 296 or so. The rest of them, look at them go. Congratulations, you have just qualified for the Navy SEALs.
The guy with
more cheating. I tell you what.
Well, 3 of them did 296.
He just quit.
He did about 270.
Oh, faking injury is not going to excuse you. He thought we did not see that. The nation has seen.
The nation knows.
Your clever ruse to get out of push-ups.
And another opportunity now for the Lumberjacks to break this shutout. Crawford brings it out to the 23. Of course, the students, they kind of cheat a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not 296.
That's just fun times.
That's kind of a bounce up, yeah.
Yeah. Just, you know, laugh and play and throw around. And the reason that they're doing all those push-ups, you know, the kicker for Montana, Brody McKnight, I believe he could do the 296 push-ups that our military friends could not. That guy's pretty jacked up.
Yeah, he's stout.
6 foot, 194 pounds. I'm a little bit afraid of him.
See what Dalton Williams can do now, trying to get this offense on the scoreboard with 5 minutes and counting. Pretty stout kicker there, does a little work, throwing those weights around.
You know what? Yeah, transfer from Purdue. You always want to have a kicker who is going to work. A guy who's not just going to go out there on the field and stand around during practice, kick a couple times, a couple leg swings. You can tell he gets in that weight room and hits it pretty hard. That's the guy his team respects.
You see those guys, the Grizz players, actually put the overcoats on for the first time today. I guess when you're up 51-0, you're allowed to do that. Coming in to make that stop was Donnie Lisowski. I will say the young men on the front row who spelled out Grizz on their bare chest. Look at the players now.
Wow. And players are covering up, and
the students, look at these guys.
We have 1Z.
Yeah, the R and the I have been interrupted there.
It is. Wow, they're shaking. That's like they're in the first stage of hypothermia right now.
I hope not.
Did you ever read To Build a Fire by Jack London? It's like you start shaking uncontrollably, and then you get a real peaceful feeling that just overwhelms you.
She's warming
him up. If you start feeling peaceful, put the jacket on, buddy, because you might go down.
Look at this guy, the eye. Now he's been an inspiration all day.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a lot of body fat either.
No, he doesn't.
Whatever he has, he's burnt off today, let me tell you. They're waving goodbye. I hope they're okay tomorrow. I hope they're okay for next week. Because they may have trouble going to class this week. They may have a head cold. Wynn backpedals at the 26 and then slips down. And the whistle blows.
Tried to cut off his inside foot.
And halftime now, Villanova on top 24-0. Their only loss this year came to New Hampshire 28-24.
And they felt like that was their worst game of the year. They felt like the better team, and they came out, turned the ball over. Now they're making amends.
So if they go on to win, they will play William and Mary, an upset winner over Southern Illinois. And then again, the Grizz will host the winner of App State and Richmond next week. For J.C. Harper and company, what a wonderful year. Ends on a sour note, but they have had a solid season. Wynn runs right into the arms of Winky Sarit. Lumberjacks flew in on Thursday. Beautiful sunshine on Thursday and Friday. Today a bit cloudy. This season they were 3-0 against ranked opponents. Suffered their first loss today and head home tonight to Nacogdoches, Texas. Right there on the border, East Texas and Louisiana. Last two trips to the playoffs here in Missoula have not been friendly trips for the Lumberjacks. 77-14 back in '95. And Lynn has some room to run.
He is quick. Boy, Nice cuts, nice initial hole, but he bounced that thing in a hurry.
Keith Thompson caught up with him.
Man is speedy. That was impressive burst to the edge. And Haynes brings him down.
That App State game against Richmond is a night game, by the way. So the Grizz plans on having a little dinner and then maybe watching that game on the satellite at the football complex. I'm sure a fire will be going somewhere where they're watching it.
Yeah.
After being out in this chilly temp all day, it's time to get warm, get ready for next week, and Wynn is just the workhorse.
Peter Wynn with the carry.
And this is their 4-minute offense mode for Montana. Of course, 4-minute meaning once you hit 4 minutes and left in the game and you got a lead, you want to try to run the clock out. And Peter Wynn doing a nice job of following his blocks and bleeding the clock.
Bobby Halleck, we talked to him earlier this week, told us to prepare for cold temperatures, and coach said, hey, we asked him what the key was. He said, bring gloves. You see he has the gloves on.
Yeah,
and
no,
I forgot mine.
I forgot
you did
mine
too.
too. Yeah.
Didn't listen to the coach.
Peter Wynn with the carry. 8-4.
Last two times they've been here in Missoula for the playoffs, 121-14. JC will now gear up, busy recruiting, and a lot of these players are back, including his outstanding quarterback, Jeremy Moses.
Yeah,
He is really excited about the future, yeah. And for good reason.
Got a lot of talented athletes, that's for sure. And they've just recently turned that thing around, you know, and a lot of positives surrounding their season.
Pretty good tackle there by Derek Choice. Big Sky Conference, Montana has dominated. Stephen F. Austin, winners there of the Southland Conference. I know you're familiar with the CAA.
Yeah.
Big South. Also a wonderful league with App State and company. Student section, they're not going home. 15 seconds to go. They're going to stay until the bitter end.
You have to snap it with a few seconds left.
Peter Wynn with the carry.
And there's 2 seconds left on the clock for the Lumberjacks. I wonder what they're going to do here. Do you go for a score?
They should have let that time tick down.
Very easily could have, but do you kneel on this thing, or do you? I mean, it's a tough call. You kneel on it, and some people will say, hey, you know, you conceded the game, you gave up, but at the same time,
they'll be at home next week, the Grizz, in search of national title number 3, 2 wins away. In the championship game, FCS in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Finley Stadium. And that's it. Bobby Houck leads the charge onto the field. 51-0. Now 14-0 on the season. John, your final thoughts on what was just a demolition. 10 turnovers for the Lumberjacks.
I feel like this was a matchup of the 2 toughest mascotted teams in the country. You got the Grizzlies and you got the Lumberjacks. And today, only the Grizzlies truly played tough. The elements were against both sides, and Montana was the only one that was able to really respond, pull together, play hard as a team. The turnovers were atrocious for Stephen F. Austin.
So Montana home next week. They'll play the winner of Richmond and Appalachian State. That should be an exciting game tonight. Villanova up 24-0 as they head to the third quarter. Looks like the Wildcats could play William and Mary next week. William and Mary, an upset winner in Carbondale today. Monty was loving it. The Grizz, in dominating fashion, advances to the semifinals. 10 turnovers, 51-0. For John Ritchie and our entire crew, I'm Doug Bell. Thank you for watching. The preceding has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, in association with the NCAA.